very colourful, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Wow.
All right. So you were asking about how to taste beer.
Yes, please.
Let's figure it out.
Okay.
Are you a wine drinker or cider drinker or spirit drinker? Tea drinker, coffee drinker?
Oh, tea.
Tea?
Yes.
All right. Well, imagine it's tea, but cold and bubbly and with alcohol in it.
Is that simple?
Yeah, it's that simple.
Okay.
So when we're assessing a beer, we want to be looking, first you can look at the color and appearance of it. So for example, this is obviously quite clear and pale. We can expect some light bready flavors to be coming in there just because the malts that are giving us this color are typically going to have a soft, bready, cracker-like flavor, not be too dominating. When we see something a little bit of a darker brown like this, we can start to expect a little bit more of a caramel toffee character, maybe some lightly roasted toasty flavors.
Right.
When you see something like this, what do we notice different about that?
It's cloudy.
It's cloudy. So it's an unfiltered beer style. So there's a number of beer styles that are traditionally cloudy. This one is a Hefeweizen. It's a German style. It actually uses a very interesting yeast strain. You can't tell that by looking at it, but that's one of the things you can look forward to in trying it.
It's really creative.
Yes.
Are we all trying the same ones? Or
No,
is
you've
them
all
a bit
got
different?
something a little bit different. We've got a dozen beers on tap, some which are available all across Canada, others which are only available on site here. So you guys have a little bit of a mix between you guys. So feel free to share. Beer and food actually goes fantastically together. A lot of people do wine and food pairing, but beer and food is actually fantastic. It has a few things that wine doesn't have, such as bitterness and carbonation. So tons of flavor complements in beer. And then also, of course, you've got hops, which can provide a fruity or bitter, herbal, spicy character. So tons of flavors to play around with. So
Okay, so I'm on the Hefeweizen.
yes.
Okay, let's launch it.
Slanted. It's nice.
Yeah, so you have the lager, which is a nice, light, crisp, traditional style, sort of based off of a Pilsner. When a lot of people think of, just a beer, this is the style that they have in mind. You're starting off with the Hefeweizen, which, do you taste anything interesting in there? Does that taste like your standard regular
Kind
beer
of
there?
oaty.
Or kind of oaty? Yeah. So it's actually made with wheat in addition to barley. And then the very interesting thing about it is the yeast strain that's used. The most common tasting notes are banana and clove.
I did not get banana clove. Sorry.
Give
I
it
have
a try
I
now
have
that
to
you're
go
thinking.
again.
Yeah. As soon as you say it, people are like, oh. Some people get
Oh, yeah.
bubble gum. Yeah.
I can really get the clove.
Yeah. There's no flavor added for that. That's all coming from the yeast strain.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
The next one is the,
next
berry one for
Yes,
me.
you've got
I
the
have one.
What
raspberry
do
there.
you have got a berry one, have
I
you?
think I have a berry.
Lager
Yeah.
ale.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Gotta
it's
go.
technically an ale. It's brewed with an ale yeast strain, but it's lagered for a longer time.
So citrus flavor off that. Am I wrong?
From the hops.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like lemonade. Reminds me of the red lemonade when I was growing up. Don't think ours was like that.
We tried not to go too over the top with the berries, just wanted to be nice and drinkable still, don't want it to be too sweet or anything. So we think we found a nice balance there. And because it's got some flavors approachable to both people in there. So yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
What are you on next, Dean?
I'm on the Maple Shack Cream Ale.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
Very
a
Canadian.
nice ale, sort of a brown ale that has some a little bit of maple syrup in there. It's not as mapley as you think it's going to be. A lot of people when they read maple, they expect like a whole whack of maple flavor.
Yeah.
But we want it to be nice and subtle, so it's nicely incorporated, and
Yeah.
you can have a few pints and not just the one. You guys should try some food as well.
Very
Okay,
true.
what would you recommend?
What? So you've got the summer ale next.
Yeah, summer ale.
So with the summer ale, the grapes or the apple would be nice. There's actually right here is a bacon jam that we use our the Maple Shack in.
apple and bacon jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unusual.
Well, we'll see.
There we go. You're going to go for it, Ian? You trying the bacon jam?
Yeah, definitely.
There we go.
A little bit of contrasting flavors in there. You get the rich little bit of sweetness and meatiness from the bacon jam, and then crisp, refreshing apple. It's not bad.
Good.
That's
I'm
quite
gonna give-
Moorish.
Okay, so you recommend we try this then?
Try it
with
with the summer ale. Yeah, the summer ale. It's fruity, refreshing, slightly tart as well. So there's a little bit of acidity in there, sort of reminiscent in my mind of lemonade or like a margarita, where there's a little bit of tartness, but
nice.
sort of brings out the fruitiness as well.
There's a lemon
Yes.
a hint off of it, isn't there?
Yeah, so we're actually using pineapple and passion fruit juice in there, along with that acidity, trying to bring out that nice refreshing flavor of summer.
It's so interesting the way you've mixed fruit flavors in with the beers.
Yeah, we do that seasonally, and it's been quite popular for us.
I can imagine. That's really,
Yeah.
really nice. isn't it?
Really nice. Thank you.
Right. Where are we now?
So I think you've got the Maple Shack and you've got the Pale Ale. So
Yeah.
both have
Pale
a
Ale.
similar sort of malty flavor profile to them. I'd give that a try with one of these cured meats and some bread, and I think that's going to work very nicely for you.
Okay.
Feel free to throw some cheese on there too, because that'll work.
I love the idea of pairing the beers with the food, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's an art form.
It is. There's a few simple sort of rules of thumb that people go with, but it's hard to find a beer and food combo that really doesn't work together.
So you're
It's
saying
fun to
the
play around
meats with the cream or the ales or the good combo?
So when you're pairing beer and food, usually what people use is the 3 C's, which are cut, complement, and contrast. So cut is pretty much about matching intensities so that you get a nice, clean, refreshing cut between the two, and they don't end up muddled. So far as that goes with this, the meats tend to be richer and heartier, and so some darker ales, some brown ales tend to be a little bit richer as well, so you don't have to worry about one overwhelming the other. The beer is not going to overwhelm the food's not going to overwhelm the beer, so that's a great place to start. Then the other 2 C's being complement and contrast. Complement is searching for similar flavors that work between the food and the beer. So in this case, with the malty beer style, we're getting some of those toasted, bready notes, which of course the bread here brings those flavors as well. So we get a nice complement there. And then so far as contrast goes, we're going to get a little bit of spice from that meat you've got there, which is going to be a little bit of a differentiation point between the beer and the food. And so hopefully the beer should end up cutting across that spice and leaving you refreshed. And then you have the meat and the bread, and you get just those mixed flavors back in there. And they just play back and forth between each other.
Very good.
Very good.
Perfect.
So if you're at home and looking to play along, you're making food for them, right?
I'm making
Is that
food
how
for you
this
later.
works?
Yes,
Do
yes.
you know what you're making?
They do.
Yeah.
Well, I've one little surprise up my sleeve, but
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Don't tell me the surprise. Well, tell me the surprise. Don't tell them. What are you making?
It's a beautiful lamb dish.
Ooh.
Yeah, in a really nice marinade, and
Did I hear?
an apricot marinade. Yeah, and it's
Nice.
a roast veg, couscous, and harissa dressing.
Okay.
Really, really tasty dish.
Good.
Wait.
With the lamb, that's going to be a richer meat, so a pale ale would go nicely with that. Sounds like with the apricot and roasted veggies, something with a bit of a hop character will bring in some fruitiness to play along there.
But I have to give them 2 different beers with their main course.
Perfect.
No,
Okay,
no,
with
no,
that,
no, no.
I'm glad we're going home with beers.
I think with that, our West Coast Pale Ale might do nicely.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
interesting.
Got a
try
recommendation.
this
I'm
one
going to
now.
taste this now with my meat. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you've got the Maple Shack there.
You barely just get the maple
Yes.
there, which is really nice because you don't want it to be sweet.
Exactly.
Beer should not be sweet.
Well, and the idea with it is that the malt flavors that are coming through just with the beer itself have that sort of rich roasty character to it, which lends quite nicely to the addition of the maple. They just fit together quite nicely. So just a little bit of maple does the
Yeah.
trick.